What's up, beautiful people? Today I'm making a video about the masculine archetypes. Now, there are many archetypes out there. This in particular is focusing on the typical ones that people generally know. The beta, the alpha. One that's not so known is the omega, okay? Before I get into that though, I want to help explain something about the energetic body of the human being. Okay, everyone has masculine and feminine energy. Energetically speaking, we can't, anything organic cannot survive without polarity, right? We are diphasic beings, meaning the polarity of negative and positive, good and bad, up and down, left and right, it keeps everything energetically balanced. Whenever we go out of balance in one way or the other, that's when we hit problems, interferences. With that being said, what describes a beta male? Let's think about that for a second. A beta male, you think glasses, right? You think someone that sits at a desk, works on a computer all day. You think passive aggressive. You think maybe has some belly fat, low testosterone, very passive aggressive, but very intelligent. Someone's very loyal, right? A beta male, you know, when they get married, usually the woman wears the pants in the relationship, right? But they will do anything for their family, and they can be trusted. Typically speaking, though, they'll be trusted by sacrificing themselves, and that's not good. Okay, so there are actually good aspects to having beta male personality traits, and let me remind you too that everyone has a little bit of alpha, a little bit of beta. Omega is something else that I get into, you know, right after this. So what about alpha male? This whole fucking trend, like, you know, alpha is fuck, bro. It's kind of ridiculous, in my opinion. All right. So when you think of an alpha male, what do you see? You see confident, right? Maybe even borderline arrogant. You see a leader. It's a good thing. You see someone that takes action, right? That brings people along with them, that has leadership skills, right? That doesn't take any shit, that probably has higher testosterone, right? They have a fitter body, right? Someone that's good with business, someone that's good at whatever it is that they do, right? Like if they're good at business, they're confident, they walk around, you know, like sure of themselves. Some of the negative sides of that though is like, you know, alpha males can be pretty arrogant and very ego driven. It's an imbalance of the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So I like to put it in the context of energy, okay, because that's how I understand it. So if you resonate with this, awesome. So you have the beta male that is more feminine, divine feminine dominant than divine masculine dominant, okay? It's easier for a beta male to receive, not so easy to give, right? Typically on the passive aggressive scale, they're more avoidant passive. Alpha males are more like disassociative aggressive, right? You're like, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna do me. Alpha males are overly, have higher testosterone. They're too much masculine energy, not enough feminine energy. They're good at giving, not so good at receiving, right? So these are the traits of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. What is the divine feminine? Divine feminine is your ability to receive. It's the right brain, right? It's your ability to be creative. It's your ability to be vulnerable, to access your emotions and be vulnerable in those emotions. Okay, so what is the divine masculine? Divine masculine is structure. It's leadership. It's taking action. It's boundaries. It is assertiveness. It's decisiveness, right? So whenever these are out of balance, if you have too much of one or too much of the other, they're both no good. But you see from what I just said that they both have positive traits and both have negative traits. Now, let's look at the omega male. Okay, what is the omega male? And this isn't something I actually created. I actually learned about this through my work with plant medicine, all right? Working with the actual divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And that's how I've sort of developed my persona through working through my beta male characteristics and my alpha male characteristics to really understand who I am. And the biggest part of transcending the alpha and the beta into the omega, because the omega is essentially having gained control over your ego. Now, let me elaborate on that, because a lot of people, having an ego is not a bad thing. All right, it's when the ego controls us and we act impulsively on those egoic desires that eventually just teach us lessons and does not bring us where we want to go. That's the problem, right? When our ego is in charge, our ego's up here, our soul's in here, in our heart. And too many times, especially in the society we live in today, because we're just bombarded with marketing and so many people are operating from here that is teaching that that's the norm, and that's not the norm. That's the dysfunction. That's just what everybody's sort of come to now because most people are dysfunctional at this point. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to be able to work through this stuff and really dig deep down into yourself and transcend all these lower vibration energies, right? So the Omega Man is one who has been through many situations that have taught them these lessons about the positives and negatives of the beta and alpha traits, and identified what is most beneficial to themselves in their heart in relationship to themselves and the rest of the world. Okay? It's a true Omega Man is structured yet open-minded. A true Omega Man does not react, he processes and responds. Right? Is not impulsive. He's calculated. Okay? He is vulnerable. He allows himself to get into his emotions, allows himself to be vulnerable, but does not let those emotions take him down a rabbit hole. And trust me, that's not easy. Especially this day and age, so much stuff in the universe is going on. Man, it's nuts. It is nuts the amount of shifting and transformation and stuff that's going on. If we're not going in the direction that our destiny is guiding us towards, we are going to run into a ton of hardships and problems. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video, okay? So, the Omega Man, I like how that sounds, the Omega Man. It kind of reminds me of Mega Man when I was playing. Anyways, the Omega Man has a balanced endocrine system, has a balanced body and mind, okay? The physical body is essentially a physical representation of the subconscious mind. Like if we have postural deviations or if we have, gut imbalances, then that is identifying issues that are going on up here. Everything starts and ends in here. And the idea is to be able to have control of our mind, listen to our ego, and see if it's in alignment with our higher self. When our mind gets lined up with our heart, that is when we become the Omega Man. Now, trust me, this isn't something that just happens and it's there and it's all good. This is something that you need to work at every single day. Some people, it's easier than others, right? For me personally, it's been very difficult. I've had to learn all my lessons pretty much the hard way, but that's why I'm able to sit here talking to you about it, because I've had to articulate it down to its very core, okay? So, also understanding this, take this information and then apply it to the whole gender confusion thing that's going on right now. Right? Think about this, okay? People are getting confused because they're basing their gender on emotions. Gender is not an emotional thing, it's a physiological and biochemical thing, okay? If you have a penis, you're a man. If you have a vagina, you're a girl. Now, emotionally speaking, there's a lot of shifting going on. The divine feminine is coming up, it's raising, it's purging all this patriarchal bullshit, obsolete energy that's in us, and it's making way for the age of Aquarius, which is going to teach us all these new ways of living a higher vibration life. It can be confusing though, because as it comes up, it's purging out, and it's taking all this egoic natured stuff and it's bringing it up, and it can be confusing and we don't know what the hell's going on, especially if we haven't been doing any of this work. It's going to come up and it's going to be confusing as hell. So you see people, like I saw on the news a couple weeks ago, some white dude thinks he's a Filipino chick. I mean, come on, guys. Like, you need to take a look at your emotions and understand what your emotions, your subconscious mind is trying to tell you. Okay, you're very confused, and it's understandable because this energy is powerful. It is very powerful. Even people that aren't spiritual are feeling this right now. I've been getting so many calls and texts and messages like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, I don't know this world. So, you know, and I'm hypersensitive to it, and so I'm grateful I'm able to help, but being hypersensitive isn't any fun either. You know what I mean? Because I got to work hard every day to keep myself centered, and I get around other people, and I'm picking up on all kinds of stuff. It's nuts. So lots of purging. So how can you transcend the alpha and beta aspects and become this omega version of yourself? Well, first thing you got to do is be honest. Take a step back and be able to observe yourself from sort of a third-party situation in your mind. Okay, look at your thoughts, look at your motivations, look at your desires. For example, like, you know, say you're a good-looking guy and you're on Tinder or something like that, and you get a couple chicks, and these chicks want a booty call, but in your gut, you're like, bad idea, bro, not a good idea. But then you're looking at it like, damn, she got a nice body, you know, I want to hit that. Are you going to go on that egoic desire of wanting to hit that? Or are you going to listen to your heart and be like, you know what? I don't want to get mixed up in that energy. It's going to distract me, and it's just not a good idea. You know, who knows what kind of stuff could happen. And I have so many stories of all kinds of stuff like that going on, but it's little things like that. You have to take a step back, almost like if you think of Neo in the Matrix, right? When he's finally figuring stuff out, he slows everything down almost to a halt. That's what you have to do in your mind. You slow those thoughts down to a halt, and you identify these triggers. When you feel that shit come up, you know, like in your heart, through your throat, into your mouth, up into your third eye, through your crown chakra, and it's telling you something, and you don't listen, or you don't want to listen, and you're like, nah, fuck that. I want to hear it now. I want the instant gratification. You have to give up that instant gratification if you want to be able to successfully follow your heart. That's the only way. Okay, because the instant gratification is the egoic desire. Okay, the more substances, the more things that you are under the influence of, the more skewed your perception is going to be, and the more likely you are going to be to make the wrong decision. Now, when I say wrong decision, I mean a decision based on your worst interests, not your best interests. Okay, so bear that in mind. This is all about you. This is all about you being your best self, and this is all about you being honest with yourself and not fucking around anymore. I mean, come on. We need more people to reach this level of omega status as males, because let's face it, like, there aren't enough good quality male role models out there right now. We're slacking. We need to pick up the pace, right? There are different ways and different things. For me personally, plant medicine has helped me tremendously. Okay, working with combo, working with ayahuasca, hape, there's a whole bunch of them, okay? Microdosing, things like that. Those expand your consciousness and open you up and help you see how you're getting in your own way, how we sabotage yourself, okay? If you're used to being around a lot of people or certain people a lot, and life isn't going the direction that you want, you need to separate yourself from that environment to be able to get a clear, energetic framework to work from, right? So it's sort of like a reset. So get away from whatever situation or people, or say even you go for a hike or something. Sit there and just breathe deeply, listen to binaural beats, meditate, clear your mind. When you come back to it, be honest with yourself. Once you're honest with yourself, have the courage to take action. And it's that step, that process right there. If you take those steps and apply those to every decision you make, you will make it to becoming an omega male. It may take some time, but you're going to let go of the outcome because you don't know what it's going to look like. Because by the time you embody that, you're going to be a different person. Okay? So we also have to let go of control, which is a very difficult thing for alphas. Alphas are control freaks. Let go. Surrender. Surrender for me, too, I know is one of the hardest things for me to do. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like more information like this, please check out, my channel. You can go to my Instagram, Spiritual Bodybuilder, and yeah, you can go to my website, fitprotherapy.com, and message me if you like. Yeah, and God bless, and talk to you soon.